Hi bonsai friends, as you can see this is another European ash tree. I'm having a bit of a blitz on the ash trees in the garden at the moment. This has been growing in a pot for a few years. It's now time to do a little bit of refinement on it, so I'm not going to try and comb all of those roots out. I'm just going to cut right through them. So notice we've got a couple of large roots here. So I'm going to cut it to, I'm going to leave about a third of the roots on. Let's see what we end up with. Going through nicely. It's always a good idea to keep an old saw around that you use specifically for going through roots. If, like me, sometimes with a big pot like this I'll put big stones in the bottom to give a drainage level and help to keep the pot standing upright in the winds. Just have that bit of extra weight while the trees are growing. Rather than blunting all your bonsai tools, have a dedicated saw to do the job. Right, we're nearly through. There we go. Separating the two halves. That's that. Oh yeah, just like I thought. Massive, great big roots in there. That one there. And we've got these here, look. Big, thick old roots. So, that one I'll just chop off. Let's chop him as well. That one can come off. Right, let's clean the tool because I've now just cut through the dirt. So I like to clean them off each time I do that, just to stop any chips in the blades. So I've got this green mesh that I use to block up the holes in the flower pot. So that's the first thing that can come off. That's it. Right, root hook. Let's see what we can get from this. This was planted in pure Akadama to promote the root growth, which it obviously has, as you can see. Now it's just a question of seeing what we've got once we get all this soil off. Ash trees really do put on a very good root system. You can see all these roots on the top. Once it's been in the pot for a couple of years, you normally fill the pot out with root like that. They do also put on really large, thick, fleshy roots as well, which you just need to keep an eye on. Here we go, let's try this. What I find with ash trees is a single blade is easier to comb out the roots. It doesn't get stuck in between all of the fine fibre stuff so much. 3-prong rake's okay, but as I say, it gets a little bit tangled up here and there. That's a bit of weight in there. There we go. That's got it. There's always an entry point into the root ball somewhere, depending on which way they grow around. It's just a question of finding it. Right, but this is going to take some time, so I'm going to pause the video and we'll be back as soon as I've finished it. Right, welcome back. I spent a few minutes combing this out, but it is just an absolute mass of root. And as you can see, look at the size of that chunk there. So I'm going to chop that off, see what I've got left. I'm just going to then just chunk big pieces of this out and just leave enough root on to keep the tree alive. So these put on masses of root, so I don't think I'm going to kill it. As long as I leave enough root on there. This is obviously got to come off. It's a massive, great big knuckle. No good for anything. So I'll pause the video again, cut that off, and we'll come back and we'll see what it's looking like in a few minutes. Right, so welcome back. I've managed to cut off that big chunk of root. That massive, great big base there. I've prepared a pot, just a training pot. I've put a mixture of horticultural grit and some fine molar clay in the base as a drainage level. I'm just going to top up with some fresh bonsai soil. There's no need to secure that into the pot there. There's got such a massive root on there and it's sitting in there nicely. So I'm just going to find some soil and top that up. And then we can put that one in the shade and leave it for another day. Let's put it, yeah, that should be okay for that. Very nice of the turntable to spin around on its own. Just take a little bit of that off of there, a little bit too much. Alright, so I'll just top that up with some horticultural grit on the top. Go. I'll give that a nice watering, put it in the shade, and I'll do the pruning at a later date. I've taken off a couple of large branches that weren't needed anyway. Hopefully we're going to get some more buds popping in all of these positions. So these branches are a little bit lanky at the moment, but I'm going to leave that now. Let nature take its course. Wait for all the buds to pop and then we'll decide which ones we're keeping and which ones we're going to get rid of. So that's it today for all of the ash trees. Tune in again for another instalment. Thanks for watching.